So what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the JeffMan316 Pop Culture Reporter channel. I'm your host as always, JeffMan316, and you know, puzzle boxes, they can sometimes be cool, but sometimes be frustrating and evil. Hey, I got it! Cool. Oh wait, that wasn't the puzzle box you were expecting? Oh, wait a minute, I gotcha. How about this one? Were you expecting this one? Yeah, this is more right up your alley, right? And if we open it, it might show us something.
It's time. Beautiful, isn't it? It's really nice. You can hold it.
But this is my review for the Hellraiser 2022 reboot, requel, whatever we're calling them these days. So, Hellraiser 2022 is a supernatural reboot of the horror film series, which started back in 1987 with the film of the same name, Hellraiser. What do you guys think about all these reboots and requels which use the same name as the original? It seems kind of lazy, doesn't it? So this film obviously is the 2022 adaptation of the 1986 novella by Clive Barker, which was entitled The Hellbound Heart. If you're keeping score here, this would be the 11th entry in this franchise. So catching up to Halloween, which is what, at 13 at this point? This film is currently streaming on Hulu at the time of this review. So the movie is directed by David Bruckner and stars Odessa Azayan and Jamie Clayton. There are several other supporting actors and important roles around them, but that's your two main characters right there. Odessa stars as Riley, and who is a recovering addict who's staying with her brother. And Jamie Clayton stars in the iconic role of the Hell Priest. Once again, the character is never officially referred to as Pinhead, but the Hell Priest does have a similar look with the pins in the head. I always felt that the Hellraiser stories centered around a main character who was extremely vulnerable because of a personal addiction or maybe a void in their life, whether that be drugs or in this case or sex back then. Sometimes the main character is just looking for something to ease their pain or distract them from their own personal demons. Ironically enough, that leads to them actually finding demons most of the time. So in this case, Riley's story is nothing really original. Her addiction is driving a wedge between her and her brother. Her brother feels like he's trying to save her life, like he's trying to save Riley from herself. Now Riley, on the other hand, feels that he's being very overprotective and he doesn't trust her to not go back to her addiction. The tension between them is what drives her into the arms of, let's say, her quote-unquote lover, or at least someone that she uses to mask her internal pain instead of the drugs. This person becomes the catalyst, though, to connect Riley in the puzzle box. I'm not going to spoil how that happens, but I think Odessa's performance is awesome. She really gives the character some depth with her own ability to show extreme emotions, especially on her face. She really makes Riley's struggle seem real and personal. You really want that character to pull out of her addictive behavior, and you often fear that she's just ultimately going to succumb to the pleasures offered by the puzzle box when you solve it. So speaking of that puzzle box, it actually is in a box this time around as far as a cube. It doesn't start that way. The puzzle box actually has 6 different configurations this time. Each time a sacrifice is made to move on to the next configuration, the tension slowly builds as tough choices have to be made. I can't get into the details of Riley's choices without spoiling some of the key plot points, but it's very unique. It's an awesome take on the puzzle box concept, and I like the creativity here. Let's just say you get a combination of ideas presented in the first 2 Hellraiser movies in this franchise. There are also important plot points that are pulled straight from both of those original films. I like the callbacks to those movies. Ultimately, though, the last configuration is the classic cube puzzle box that we often see in the movies, and this time it's called the lament configuration. So let's jump right into the main topic, though, of what people will probably be discussing about this 2022 update of Hellraiser. Let's talk about Pinhead, or like I said, the Hell Priest. What do you think of this updated character? I actually like the concept of having what seems to be like a non-binary version of the character. It fits the concept of a Hell Priest well to me. Now, I do think people are going a little overboard with how awesome they say Jamie Clayton's portrayal of Pinhead is. I will go on record and say that I think this version is actually a little boring. The look is obviously amazing though. The character is cool looking, but doesn't really have a powerful screen presence. Just like Michael Myers in the original Halloween movie, Pinhead was only on screen for maybe 10 minutes in that very first Hellraiser film. But you have to give it to Doug Bradley. He commanded the attention of the audience for every minute he was on screen. Each scene featuring Pinhead back then felt impressive and memorable. You can even remember a lot of his classic lines.
We have such sights to show you.
His dialogue and performance have become iconic. While this new Hell Priest looks great, there was nothing memorable about the character to me. I saw this a couple weeks ago, and honestly, I do not remember anything the character actually said in the movie to Riley. What was memorable to me, though, was the way the bodies of all the Cenobites, including Pinhead, were presented. In the original films, they were all clad in leather, and they looked like they jumped right out of a bondage porn movie. This time around, though, the body, quote-unquote, suits are made of their own skin. It's either cut open or pulled back and made into layers. It's very creepy and ominous looking. I really like it. I especially love the Chatterer this time around. Very cool and creative on this take of the character. I also love the special effects throughout the entire film. When the world of the Cenobites merges into our own real world, so to speak, some of the CGI effects are just spectacular. It is very hard to tell where the computer graphics begin and where the real life ends. The different variations of the puzzle box are also unique and awesome. Awesome to see them transform into the next configuration in the person's hand. I do have to at least make one gripe here. The story felt a little long and convoluted. I think Riley should have been the main focus of the entire film. There is a supporting character named Voight that is introduced in the opening scene, and then his story is wrapped up at the end. I don't even think this character added much to the story at all, especially to Riley's story arc, and was just added to have more cool effects and to have another, let's say, victim to the Cenobites. I also felt a little cheated by the ending of this movie. Riley made, let's say, a very creative choice with her last sacrifice, and I think it felt a little bit out of place. Maybe it won't bother me as much on future viewings of the movie. So what do you think about the ending of the film? Have you watched this version of Hellraiser? If so, what did you think? What are your thoughts on the new version of Pinhead or the Hell Priest? And what do you think about the future direction of the franchise? Is it in good hands? I think so. Put some comments down below. I'm just going to let you know. I'm going to give this a thumbs up. I'm not going to say it's on fire, but it is really a good update, and I am looking forward to seeing what direction this takes. So as always, I'm going to ask you to support the channel in all the normal ways. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I need your help. We need to grow this channel. You need to keep supporting me, and if you do, I'll keep making great content. So until next time, boys and girls, when we'll do a movie review, hey, maybe check out my Halloween reviews or some other pop culture video. I hope you come back, and I hope you enjoy everything you watch. And until next time, boys and girls, this is JeffMan316, your pop culture reporter, signing out saying you guys be safe out there.